New York's classic rock, Q1043.
And Rob Reiner is with us. We're very excited.
Yeah, and Rob, a friend of yours was here about a week and a half ago. You'll recall, of course, that Rob Reiner directed the documentary about Spinal Tap called This is Spinal Tap.
I like what you just said. You didn't say it was a mockumentary.
No, it's a
documentary. You said it's a documentary.
Right,
yeah,
because we had Derek.
Derek Smalls was here.
Derek was here.
Derek was here. He has a new solo album. Did you know that?
I did. It's he's a virtuoso on the bass, as you know.
Right.
And, so I think an album that features the bass is long overdue. Long overdue.
Yeah, but All About the Bass was taken as a title already. So, he had to move on from there. But he's performing some shows with an orchestra.
Right.
With a full orchestra.
Right. Well, I mean, don't you think his work deserves that kind of backing?
I think so.
But wait a minute.
We played some on the air. It was very good.
Doesn't Spinal Tap deserve a reunion and perhaps a sequel to the documentary? Doesn't this deserve a revisit?
Rob, Shelley was bugging Derek about that when he was here.
And what did he say?
The reunion.
What did he say?
It's not up to him. The door has always been open as far as he's concerned.
Right.
But it just doesn't seem likely at this point in time.
At this point, the question is where are these? I mean, we know where Derek is and what he's doing, but where's David St. Hubbard? Where is Nigel Tufnell? And Marty DeBerge? We haven't heard from him in quite a while. The last I heard, he was working at a White Castle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're well fed working at the White Castle.
Yeah.
But anyway, Derek Smalls' new solo album is out. And a new Rob Reiner film, which Shelley saw, Shock and Awe.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to tell you, now, I was watching this with my husband, and we rarely agree on movies. And both of us loved your movie, Shock and Awe.
Well, what does that say? That says that it's a good movie?
It's a good movie.
Well, it's a good movie for Shelley and her husband.
That is true.
Well,
and so you see, things were revealed in your movie that I was unaware of. First of all, it stars you and Woody Harrelson and
Tommy Lee Jones.
And Tommy Lee Jones
and
was
James
just awesome.
Marsden and Jessica Biel and Mila Jovovich.
And it was about something that I didn't realize had happened at Knight Ridder, which was these two reporters.
Oh, Knight Ridder was one of the most important and prestigious newspaper chains in the entire country.
Right.
Yeah.
But two reporters were investigating the lead up to are going to war against Iraq, and all these stories they were writing basically weren't printed.
Right, but they were printed in their outlets, but it didn't break through. They got the truth. They got it all right.
Knight Ridder is like this, the San Jose Mercury News, the Detroit Free Press.
That's right.
In Miami, they have the big Miami newspaper.
Right.
And this is about the 2003.
Right.
Invasion of Iraq.
Right.
To be clear.
Right. And so we try to tell this story as honestly as possible. We had the four journalists who actually the movie's about with us on the set every day. And I think we hopefully people will understand the importance of a free press. And that's what we're trying to make people understand.
And you can see it on DirecTV starting June 14th, and then it'll be in theaters July 13th.
Correct.
Friday the 13th? You picked Friday the 13th.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's a lucky day.
Okay.
13 could be lucky.
It's a lucky day. Okay. It just all of a sudden occurred to me. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Now, when you make a movie with a cast like this, I mean, just trying to get everybody together to be available at the right time, to get a studio that's willing to back you, to get the financial backing. I guess you have to go to banks and investors and stuff like that to put it together.
The way you describe it, I don't know how we got this thing made.
I mean, it's just so much more work than what we imagine when we experience something on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, the movie business now is divided into two parts. I mean, you've got the major studios who do, big action, superhero type movies, and then there's the independent world, and they are always scrapping for dollars and trying to get their stories told.
Mm-hmm. Well, without giving away the reason for seeing Shock and Awe.
Yeah.
What surprised you when you dug into the story while you were considering making the film?
Well, this is a film I wanted to make for a long time. I understood what had happened to the country before we went to war in Iraq. And at first, it was so bizarre to me. You know, I thought, I was of draft age during the Vietnam War. So I couldn't believe that America was entering into another war based on a lie. And so I wanted to tell the story. And first, it was so bizarre. I thought, I'll tell it like a satire. I'll do a satire like a Dr. Strangelove or, something like that. And I tried to, worked on a script with Larry Gelbart, a great screenwriter, and we just couldn't get a draft that we liked. And then as time went by, I saw this documentary by Bill Moyers, who was a press secretary for Lyndon Johnson.
For President Johnson,
and he interviewed these guys, these 4 journalists, and I said, that's the way into this story.
Okay, so the idea for the film was self-generated when you saw that interview then?
Yeah, well, the idea for the film was even before that, when
you got your hook.
Yes, when I got the hook, it came from that documentary.
Okay, so it's Shock and Awe in theaters on Friday, July 13th. TV.
DirecTV.
DirecTV.
June 14th.
June 14th through July 11th.
And then July 13th, it goes into the theaters. It's a strange distribution pattern, but that's what they're doing these days.
No, but that makes sense to me. Yeah. And it makes sense in people's lives.
Yeah.
Because this is how they see movies.
Yeah, they see movies on television, particularly these kinds of movies.
Right.
That's what they see.
Right.
And one of our listeners was very touched by your appearance in the Andre the Giant documentary.
Oh, yeah. That was so sad. So
wanted
sad.
that to be mentioned.
Yeah. So sad. I mean, he was a great guy, really smart.
A gentle guy.
The classic gentle giant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And current work, you before the camera, you're doing what? Your current stuff that you're doing?
I'm
the actor part of you?
The actor part of me, I basically go where I'm kicked. If somebody calls me up and says they want me in a movie or a TV thing, I always say yes because it's fun. I have fun. Years ago, Ron Howard called me up and there was a movie, Ed TV. That was with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. And he said, "You want to do a part?" I said, "Okay." He says, "Well, let me send you the script and see if it's something you're interested in." I said, "I don't have to read the script." I said, "If this thing stinks, it's not my fault. I just want to be an actor. I like being an actor."
With the reboots of TV shows, never mind the fiasco that happened with Roseanne after, but because it was it caught fire. So is there any talk of you and Sally Struthers getting back together for a continuation?
The thing is, you couldn't do it without Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton, and they're no longer with us. So I think it's in the ether as a show you can watch.
But they're doing the Murphy Brown reboot.
I mean, there's just so many that they're bringing back.
And there's one that Fox is doing. I can't remember the title right now, but they're taking a look at the library to see what might work.
There's so much content now, and there's so much need for content. When you look at all these streaming platforms, they need to get as much as they can.
Okay, well, it's Rob Reiner who went to school with the Doors.
I did.
The Doors.
Well, 2 of the Doors.
Yeah, well, that's enough. You can truthfully say I went to school with the Doors if it was with 2 of the Doors.
That's right. That's plural.
It was Ray Manzarek and Jim Morrison.
And Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
They were at UCLA when I was there.
That's crazy.
And, John Densmore, who was the drummer, he actually came in and met with us.
Yeah, but it's good that he didn't get. It's good that Spinal Tap didn't get him because they have bad luck with the drummers.
That's right.
Bad luck.
Right.
Bad luck with the drummers.
He didn't spontaneously combust.
That is so funny.
He's still alive. He's still with us.
Yes, and probably because he didn't get the gig.
Exactly.
Probably.
The movie is Shock and Awe. Rob Reiner, thank you for joining us this morning.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.